Surely Biden couldn't pardon anyone worse than Hunter. He's pardoning Pfizer. Oh, well done. Hello there, you Awakening Wonders. Thanks for watching us today. Remember, our content is available in its purest and freest form on Rumble. You should consider getting Rumble Premium for an ad-free experience with additional content. Use the code BRAND to get reductions or reductions in your sentence, like Pfizer and Moderna are getting, because Joe Biden unbelievably has guaranteed them indemnity till 2029, which is the same time, actually, that were Trump to serve a full term and then J.D. Vance to be elected after that. I suppose that would take us to around 2029. How incredible. And also Project 2030. Let me know in the comments and chat if you've heard of that. Let's have a look at this story that's somehow gone below the radar, almost as if legacy media don't cover stuff that's truly informative and brilliant, about how Biden is pardoning Pfizer and Moderna. How come more people don't know about this? Let me know in the comments and the chat.
And yet another move to hamstring the MAGA agenda. Joe Biden's Department of Health and Human Services just extended the liability shield for COVID vaccine makers through the end.
Sure, we'll make you a vaccine, but I'm going to need a liability shield. Well, why is that? Aren't you confident in the product? No, not really, because we are granted indemnity. And that means that this makes this an irresistible economic model for us, because with other products, we are liable to being sued if those products are not effective, whereas these products, we cannot be sued. So imagine that. Just right there on the ground floor and the ground zero of the idea of vaccines themselves, it's a much more profitable modality. Watch our interview with Aaron Siri to understand that subject in more depth.
We'll let you guess, 2029. The year that Trump will leave office.
Oh, wow, man. I'm not good at working out time. So Trump's, yes, it will lead to 2029 because he's going in 25. Whoa, man, the world is moving quick.
What are they shielding manufacturers from if these vaccines are so safe?
Right in time for Project 2030. Don't worry about Project 2025. You want to worry about Project 2030.
Plus, HHS's vaccine injury compensation program still doesn't cover injuries from the COVID vaccine.
This injury program, does it cover vaccine injuries? No. So why are you calling it a vaccine injury program? Sounds good.
However, a different, little-known government program can, but it's being slow-walked.
We would love to help you with your vaccine. Can you speak quickly? I've got ADHD. Probably from a actually.
Of the more than 13,000 claims sent into the program alleging injury or death from the COVID vaccine or another COVID treatment, fewer than 3,500 have decisions.
Sorry to hear about your myocarditis.
And of those decisions, 18 claims have been compensated. 3,373 have been denied.
Denied. Oh, so you can do things quickly. Sometimes.
Joining us now, a member of the House Select Subcommittee on the coronavirus pandemic and a former emergency room doctor, Congressman from Georgia, Rich McCormick. A doctor and Congressman, great to see you. So if these COVID vaccines will continue until 2029, will continue to fall under this program, which you do not get reimbursement if you're one of the few that HHS decides in favor of, you get no pain and suffering. What's Biden and co. up to with this decision?
Well, it's not just that. If you look at the way they designed this, you have no repercussions. You can't sue these companies who have come up with these vaccinations that may or may not be harmful. But this is why we make decisions with our doctors and suffer the consequences. But we've held cigarette companies accountable. You just did a report on holding oil companies responsible for global warming, right, that they could be sued for that. And then you're going to say you can't hold people who actually have real manifestations of physical harm from vaccination for young, healthy people a lot of times that should have no business of getting a vaccination when they have immunity already, and you're not going to hold them accountable. This is ridiculous double standards.
Ridiculous double standards. It's the Biden way.
And it shows you who they're favoring and who they're playing politics with. And quite frankly, we just did a hearing in which 40% of this year's FEMA budget was diverted to, guess what? COVID paybacks. Still this year, the pandemic's been over for a couple of years. And I'm an ER doc. I served my last shift about December 28th, 2 years ago. And you know that this pandemic's over, but yet we're still spending 40% of FEMA during a year where we had shortfalls in the budget for hurricanes on something that's been over for a couple of years. Shame on us. We need to hold these people accountable.
Well, all this money gets shifted around in the background, and almost nobody knows about it, which is...
Oh, no, there's a hurricane raging through Florida. Yeah, but what about that guy? No, I think I might have COVID. Well, put this right up into your brain. Yeah. Oh, God, that's worse. That's worse than the COVID. Now put it in a thing. Now amplify it by 10,000 times. Help us! The hurricane! The hurricane! My house is burning down in Maui. Okay, now continue to magnify the virus. Yep. Sir, I'm afraid to say you've got COVID. Shut down the school, put this on, and give Anthony Fauci $10,000. The hurricane!
Why you need something like Doge to take a huge, massive floodlight and shine it in here. And then you've got all these alphabet soup agencies that administer these different things. Here's my question. Can you roll these late-stage decisions back? Can Trump come into office and say, 2029, forget about it. We're going to rescind that. We're going to repeal it. Or can Congress do that? Who can act on this?
I think we're going to have to come to agreements on it. I think now that we have the trifecta, we have so much work to do. Matter of fact, the biggest thing that's going to hamstring us is how much we have to actually accomplish in this first 100 days. How are we going to pass a CR? Are we going to pass a skinny? We're going to do 2 reconciliation bills. The last time we actually got it done right was about 30 years ago. I believe it was 1997. We have a tremendous amount of work to do. We have a very narrow margin in the House, more narrow than the Senate. That should mean something to a lot of people. There's a lot of fighting to be done, so don't think it's over yet. But if we can get it right, we might just save America.
Yeah, and don't force people to ever take a jab in their arm ever again. Because in New York City, companies and individuals, if they wanted to go into the workplace, were forced to get the COVID vaccine. Never again. Never again.